class, today we will be doing assignment 1, question number 1, which is the island of knights and knaves. So as you arrive on the island of knights and knaves, you come across 3 island inhabitants, conveniently named Alice, Billy, and Carl. In hopes to find someone you can trust on the island, you approach Alice and have the following conversation. So you ask, are Billy and Carl both knights? Alice says yes. You then ask, is Billy a knight? And Alice says no. So the question is, can it be determined whether each of Alice, Billy, and Carl are knights or knaves? So let's start off with determining what a knight is. So a knight is someone that only tells the truth. And what is a knave? Well, a knave, we know that it is someone that only lies or tells false information. Perfect. So moving on, we're going to decipher whether Alice is a knight or a knave first, just because she's the one that we're talking to. So we know that Alice is saying yes to Billy and Carl both being knights, but then she also says no to Billy being a knight. So Alice says what I like to call contradicting statements. And we know that in a contradicting statement, something's contradicting because one of the parts is false. One statement has to be false, So if something's being falsely said, we know that only knaves can lie. So if only a knave can lie, then Alice has to be a knave. So we know that Alice has to be a knave. So let's move on to Billy. So if Alice can only lie, that means when she says no to Billy being a knight, well, then it has to be true because Alice lies. So her statement when she says no to Billy being a knight has to be true, which makes Billy a knight. So we've determined 2 out of the 3. Let's move on to Carl. So we know that Alice has to be lying. So when she says that both Billy and Carl are knights, she's lying. She's a knave. So Billy and Carl both can't be knights. And coming back to what we just said about Billy, Billy is a knight. We know that because of what we just worked out. Therefore, Carl has to be a knave because they can't both be knights. So Carl, from process of elimination, has to be a knave. And I don't know if it helps anybody to draw out. I know that it helps me a little bit just to add in pictures. If you want, you can do this at the beginning or at the end. It doesn't matter if it helps you, whatever works. So we know Alice, Billy, and Carl. And we've now determined that Alice is a knave. She lies, which means that Billy is a knight, which also means that Carl is a knave. All right, everyone, awesome job. And that is the end of our problem today. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to give me an email.